Guys, today is the 7th of January 2019 at 5 minutes past 7 in the morning over here in the UK, and I'm just going to get straight into it. We've got a goat, a kid goat, and kid goats are called kids, or billies. I should have said child goat, but I gave it away. Anyway, a child goat is called a kid, and we know that we've had an experience of kids in cages over the last year. Now, that appears to be what this video is saying right here. Kid in a box, which you could reference as a cage. We've got the barbed wire fencing running along, and I think that's in association with the border as well. US lays barbed wire at border as migrant caravan draws closer. That was back in 2018, before the midterms, and obviously after the midterms, things suddenly went quiet, and now we're back to, you know, peace, security, safety, and the war. Um, so for the most part, I think that is what it's talking about. Kids in cages, barbed wire at the border, emergency lighting they've also installed at the border as well. And then in the background you've got what looks like a power plant having a meltdown. So I think it's a nuclear power plant having a meltdown. And I think that is in association with, where is it going? Yeah, in association with this scene here. Now this appears to be someone from South America, South American descent, brown skin, Juanita loves one on the arm. The names are very South American. They appear to have tools, and these tools appear to be being used for digging. I say that because it appears as this person is underground, drowning in a river of toxic material. Now, when I say that, in association with the border and the kids in cages and stuff like that, I think to myself, the video is likely saying that migrants, or people that are going to be called migrants, are tunneling under the United States-Mexico border. They may be doing it right underneath this mountain range here. Go back down here. This range here is called Mount Cristo Rey, and obviously that's in association with Jesus Christ. So where the iPad Goat video is antithetical to the Bible and to Jesus and everything that's good, it may be something that they'd use to suggest migrants tunneling under here. Obviously, it's quite an expansive mountain range, but there's no houses or anything around. No one's going to be able to, see them tunneling in or whatever. It looks like quite a dark hole there. 1 second, let me just zoom in on that. Appears to be some sort of, maybe it's a lake or something. I don't know. Maybe. Either way, what I think is they're tunneling underneath, and they may be tunneling adjacent to the Rio Grande, but not just the Rio Grande River, but the Rio Grande power plant. And having those things connected together makes sense for me in association with this video. Migrant tunneling underground, tools for digging, river, green material, and that is all something that could occur in this region. Tunneling under the Rio Grande into the power plant, nuclear material leaking into the power plant, emergency situation, or national emergency situation. Now, obviously, Donald Trump has recently been talking about declaring a national emergency in association with building the wall. And this report, which was published yesterday and updated early this morning, says, Donald Trump says, I may declare a national emergency dependent on what's going to happen over the next few days. He told reporters as he left the White House for Camp David. Obviously, Camp David is where they go for their retreats. It's also a very highly secure location. There's much of locations that President Trump goes to, but Camp David is probably, way more secure than Mar-a-Lago, for example, just for its location, as one thing. But all of that seems to be connected, possibly. So you've got the floating idea of declaring a national emergency and the potential for a national emergency to actually occur. And my thoughts are a national emergency occurring in association with immigration, giving, Donald Trump and, his backers even more reason to say, we need this, we need that, we need the wall, blah, 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 blah. Looking back at the iPad Goat video, it may be that we're told the 11th of January or the 11th of a month, but considering we haven't got much time left in the year of the dog, 11th of January is what I'm looking at. That's on the Gregorian calendar. Of course, if they're using the lunar calendar, that turns out to be the 16th of January. And if they're using the Julian calendar, well, then that turns out to be the 14th of January. So you can see there's the potential for a few dates to come up, depending on what calendar you use. I'm referring to the Gregorian calendar when I'm talking about the video here, but just bear in mind there are 2 other calendars that I use from time to time, and they may be the calendars that these people are using. Since I don't know, I can only guess at which calendar to use. The Gregorian is most common, but we have references to the lunar calendar in here as well, so that's probably a calendar they use. And to confuse, they may use, you know, all 3 in different parts of the video. I don't know, but, you know, I'm just putting it out there. So possible reference to number 11 here, possible reference to the number 11 here, possible reference to number 11 here, possible reference to the number 11 here. It may be that we're getting the start on the 11th, 111, in association with immigration, the border, tunneling, illegal immigration, hitting a power plant, nuclear meltdown, national emergency declared from the 11th of January, or from the 10th of January, just to mix up with the time zones. So all of that, all in one section, 11th of January, or lunar, you know, I've already said it, so I'm not going to repeat it again. Then we move on to this scene here. Now, there may be things occurring on the 12th and on the 13th and on the 14th. I may find those in this video later. I may have already found them and just need to go over them again. But I'm just going to focus on what I have got at the moment, which is the Donald Trump character. So if something happens on the 11th of January in association with immigration and a nuclear power plant meltdown, national emergency, there's a possibility that in all of that, there's a connection with the number 15 as well. But in this translation, it's not connected with the Gregorian 15th, it's connected with the lunar 15th. Now, I say that because we have the upside down L here. Now, that could refer to lunar. That's one interpretation. Then the other way of looking at the L is as the number 12. Now, it just so happens that we are currently in the 12th lunar month. So that would all be, you know, all in one, lunar 12th lunar month. Then over here, I pointed out before that I think we have the number 15. This certainly looks like a 5 on its side, and this looks like a 1 right next to it. So I'm getting lunar 15. Now, when I look at the lunar calendar, in fact, I'll just bring it up so you guys can see as well. When you look at the lunar calendar, you will actually see that the 12th lunar month, so L being the 12th letter of the alphabet as well as standing for lunar, began on the 6th of January, and the 15th lunar month, sorry, 15th lunar day in the 12th lunar month is the 20th of January. Now, obviously, that's significant, especially when we're talking about Donald Trump, because that's the day he was inaugurated in 2017, 2 years ago. And it may be that on that very day, something like this happens. Now, if you guys can't see what that is, if this is the first time you're watching the video, you'll notice that it looks like a man on his back, knee up here, hair like Donald Trump. This will be the face, the chest. You can see it there. Even going down to what could be a long tie, you know, like a long purple tie. And he wears long ties. It could be that they're connecting you to Donald Trump in association with 2 of his most famous features, the tie and his hair. I don't know, but certainly could be an interpretation. So Lunar 15, which is January the 20th, Donald Trump's inauguration day, may be the day that they decide enough is enough, and they go ahead with the real or faked assassination. I don't know if it's real or fake, but that will be the story that they give. I think that will be done by someone they claim to be of Mexican or South American heritage. The reasons for that is because both myself and J.K. Bugger have pointed out South American names on the back of this George Bush representing Donald Trump character's head, which is Jesus for me and Jose for J.K. Bugger. Either way, they're both South American names, and it appears on the back of his head where we have multiple references to a shot to the back of the head in association with Donald Trump. Not only that, but obviously behind this figure, I don't really want to move it at the moment, I'm not going to move it, but behind this figure you've got the shark, and the shark is overlaid on top of another image which looks like a gun, more blocky and square. So my thoughts are it's a 3D gun. Why do I say that? Because 3D guns are probably the only type of gun you'll be able to get into the vicinity of Donald Trump, because they're pretty much undetectable. Now, plans for 3D guns were published online last year, and a lot of people downloaded them before they were removed. So there's a potential for those plans to be available, and for someone to have downloaded them, you know, create a gun and go about trying this. Obviously, because all of this is put into this video, it means it's all planned. So all the things I'm saying, they're not genuine, like, situations. They're not just happening. Jesus or Jose is not, you know, actually going to do this. This is going to be the story we're told. What really happens is another issue. Putting all that aside, putting the lunar 15 aside, and how the lunar 12 and how all of that is connecting together, and how that all connects to January the 20th, and how that all may connect to Donald Trump, there's another thing. Along with this being an L for lunar and an L for the number 12, I'm also seeing a time reference. Now, if this is 12 o'clock up here, this is 5 o'clock down here. 5:30, 5:35, 5:40. 5:40, take away the 0, you're left with 5:4. Switch them around, and you're left with 4:5, which is the number that Donald Trump is in terms of president. He's the 45th president. So, number 45, lunar 15, January 20th, inauguration day, Donald Trump lying on his back. All of that seems to be connected together. I don't know if that's this year, but it certainly seems to be connected, because lunar 15 doesn't always correspond to January the 20th. And we are in the year of the dog. So, you know, I'm keeping my eyes open. January the 11th, some sort of power plant meltdown, maybe associated with immigration. According to the video, it is. Lunar 15, which is then January the 20th, something happening with Donald Trump. In between the 11th and the 20th is 9 days. So looking at that would be 9 days after the 11th, which is 9/11. So, you know, you've just got another way of looking at it. Also, the 11th of January, where I think there may be something in association with power plant and immigration, is also the 6th lunar day in the 12th lunar month. When you look at these two, if you was to flip your screen upside down, you'd have 9/11 right there again. So we're getting multiple 9/11 references here. Moving on, we may have something else occurring on the 11th of January if this is 11/1 in association with a volcano. That could be La Cumbre Vieja, if it's connected with the UK and New York being the east coast of the United States. Could be connected with Kilauea in association with a volcano in Obama. Could be connected with Mount Etna in association with a volcano and an island that's shaped like a foot, which Italy is. So there's a few volcanic references there. I've been over them already. But this could also be a reference to 21, which this could also be a reference to. So you got 2 and 1 on one side and 21, or 11/1, 2 and 1 on one side, you got 21 or 11/1. So I'm putting both those date references out there. It could be that 11/1, something happens on one volcano, and then on the 21st, something happens on another volcano. But again, we've got the L reference here. So it may be that we need to look at the lunar 11 or the lunar 15. I haven't done that yet, so I'm just going to quickly take a look. Lunar 15, oh god, it is again, the 20th, innit? Forgot. Alright, so we have the number 15 down here, X1111 and line across 5. Taken together, that's the number 15. If that does flow that way, as in lunar 15, that connects us again to January the 20th. So just putting that out there, I've already covered January 20th in terms of Donald Trump, but it may be that we have a volcano as well. When I say that, I'm just thinking of the Time magazine with his hair on fire. You know, the flames are coming out of his head. So if something was to happen to Donald Trump and a volcano was to erupt on that day, I guess the Time magazine would have symbolically displayed that with Donald Trump's hair on fire. So much to kind of think about, but just a couple of date references there, 11, 21, also the number 17. Now, I've talked about the number 17 before, and I always try and think of it in a linear timeline, in a way that things unfold one after the other, rather than everything unfolding on one day, because I don't think everything unfolds on one day. It seems to pan out over a couple of days or at least a couple of weeks, these major events that are happening. But the number 17 down here is on Obama's foot, which is over the pound. So I'm thinking if something happens nuclear-wise, power plant 11th, something happens to Donald Trump on the lunar 15th, which is the 20th, we could be looking at the lunar 17th for the next bit, which will be the 22nd, which again could be referenced with the V on Obama's forehead in that sweat bead. Or we could be looking at the 17th on the Gregorian calendar. But as I said, because we've got the L and even the C reference, which kind of points us to lunar calendar on this side, I'm assuming that any numbers we glean from here after we looked at on the lunar calendar. So if we're looking at number 15, that's January the 20th. If we're looking at number 17, that's January the 22nd. Those numbers may be correlating in the same scene, just in different ways, if you get my drift. Either way, there is a lot going on. There is a lot to cover. The main point I wanted to kind of look at is the 11th of January national emergency situation. 10th, 11th of January. I keep saying just the 11th, but I'll say 10th, 11th for time zone sake. National emergency may be possibly connected with a nuclear power plant meltdown, if that is reference 11, 11, 11. Again, just for reference, if we're not looking at the Gregorian calendar for the 11th, then the lunar calendar for the 11th would be the 16th. But 16 is one number I haven't seen in this video that I can remember. So I'm thinking Gregorian 11th and then lunar, switching between lunar and Gregorian. Maybe that's how it goes throughout the whole video. I'll have to rewatch it and see if that kind of calendar switching makes sense, to switch from one scene to the other. So we start with Gregorian, then we go to lunar, then we go to Gregorian, then we go to lunar. I'll see. Either way, I've given you all the information that I currently have. 11th of January, keep an eye out for the nuclear power plant scenario situation. That didn't make sense, but you know what I mean. Following on from that, keep an eye out for on the 15th, Gregorian. If not there, keep an eye out on the 15th, lunar, which is January the 20th. Following on from that, the 17th, which again, if it's not Gregorian 17th, then you're looking at the 22nd, for the lunar 17th. And then we have the 21st, 22nd, 23rd on the Gregorian calendar, which is as standard. We have the 2-year inauguration anniversary of Donald Trump. We have the full moon, blood moon, wolf moon eclipse occurring just here. If not these 4 sets, 20 to the 23rd, then again you'll be looking at the lunar calendar, which would mean it's from the 25th to the 28th of January. I'm done. You guys have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and may the Heavenly Father bless you.